passengers and crew on Pan Am Flight 103 en route from London to New York never made it home for Christmas.
Not only is it Britain's worst air disaster, it's one of the worst in aviation history.
On December the 21st, 1988, just after 7 p.m, the Boeing 747 exploded at 31,000 feet and fell from the sky onto the Scottish border town of Lockerbie.
We thought it was a nuclear explosion, but obviously it wasn't.
It was like liquid fire started to rain down on the car, and bits of concrete and debris, and we even found a piece of aluminium buried in the car.
All 259 people on board died. For waiting families, there was only heartache.
The idea that they were coming home for Christmas and were blown out of the sky and took minutes to fall to earth, I mean, that was just, you couldn't sleep when you thought about that.
11 people on the ground were also killed, obliterated by falling debris.
That was the largest attack on America, terrorist attack on America, up until 9/11.
The crash scene stretched across 2,000 square kilometres. Painstaking detective work, including the discovery of a tiny fragment of circuit board, led investigators to conclude the bomb had been hidden in a tape recorder placed in an unaccompanied suitcase. Soon, the trail led to Libya.
We charge that 2 Libyan officials, acting as operatives of the Libyan intelligence service, along with other co-conspirators, planted and detonated the bomb that destroyed Pan Am Flight 103.
The Libyans, McGrath and Fima, were tried under Scottish law in a special court in the Netherlands, to the frustration of the then US Attorney General.
I think it likely we would have sought the death penalty, and the Scots obviously don't have the death penalty. And as it turned out, one was acquitted, Fima, and McGrath was convicted and sentenced to a term of years. I think the length of his sentence was essentially what you would get in the United States for an armed robbery.
Bill Barr was also frustrated by the reluctance of the George H.W. Bush administration to take stronger action against Libya and its then leader, Muammar Gaddafi.
The impulse was just to add sanctions, and I thought they'd be worthless. So,
you thought America should have tried to take Gaddafi out?
I thought we should, strike some obvious military and intelligence targets, and if we were able to get him, fine.
You were Justice Minister, though, weren't you? Not Defense.
Right, and that's what I was talking about, justice. I said that I didn't think justice would end just by bringing the hitmen, so to speak, and putting them on trial in the West.
To add insult to injury in the eyes of the Americans, 8 years later, McGrath was released, ostensibly on compassionate grounds because of a terminal cancer diagnosis.
Angry, furious, disappointed. I think that hero's welcome was disgusting and a slap in the face of our loved ones that we lost.
Cara Weep's brother, 20-year-old Rick Manetti, was one of 35 students from Syracuse University in upstate New York who died in the bombing. They were flying home from an exchange program.
He was very laid back, but a jokester. People gravitated towards him and wanted to be around him.
Cara Weeps was 15 when her brother died. She spent her adult life campaigning on behalf of the Lockerbie families.
And if the right questions are asked, the right questions will be answered.
2 years ago, she stood next to Bill Barr, now in his second stint as Attorney General, as he announced a breakthrough.
I am pleased to announce that the United States has filed criminal charges against the third conspirator, Abu Aguila Masoud Kir al-Marimi, for his role in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. It was very rewarding for me personally to be able to bring those additional charges. For me, it was finishing a job that I had started.
US prosecutors allege Masoud Kir al-Marimi confessed to his role in the Lockerbie bombing while imprisoned in Libya on unrelated charges. The details of his capture and extradition to the US in December remain murky. Last week, the accused appeared in a Washington court. Masoud seemed frail and unsteady. A public defender was appointed after he said he couldn't afford a lawyer, and a plea hearing was set for February.
It's a huge significance. It means everything. I know it means so much to my parents, so much to so many of the family members to have the alleged bomb maker in our court system.
What about your father?
A travel agent called me who had arranged for her ticket and said that there had been an accident and Melina might have been on the plane.
16-year-old Melina Hudson was returning home on Pan Am 103 after a term at an English high school.
I rushed home and my wife was there, and we turned on the TV set and we saw the flames of Lockerbie. And from that time forward, everything changed.
My name is Paul Hudson. I'm the father of Melina Hudson, who was 16. The opinion of our group is overwhelming outrage.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Paul Hudson channeled that rage into decades of advocacy, lobbying lawmakers to improve airline safety and accountability and passenger rights.
If Masoud were convicted, would there be peace for you, or is peace not an option?
I wouldn't call it peace, but I would call it maybe a piece of peace.
What about remorse? Would you like that?
I think in some ways that might be asking for too much. I think if there was going to be remorse, it would have been... Do you trust remorse if it comes?